The Gitrog monster versus Phenax, God of Deception, and I'm going to keep the hand because of Farseek, and Phyrexian Arena is pretty nice as well, so if we go for an Overgrown Tomb off of the Farseek, then we can get that into play. Just in case, going to go for the Forest first. Don't want to get wastelanded on turn 1. I don't think our opponent will do that, but you never know. Phenax, God of Deception, is an indestructible god, 5 mana in Dimir, 4/7, and as long as your devotion to blue and black is less than 7, it is not a creature. And then the main ability, creatures you control have tap. Target player puts the top X cards of their library into their graveyard, where X is the creature's toughness. So most likely a mill strategy of some form. And get back over to our turn, and we'll go for our Farseek, and then see if we can get into a Phyrexian Arena next turn, I think. Yeah, we'll go for the tapped Overgrown Tomb. And of course not pay the life, because even if you pay the life off of Farseek, it still comes into play tapped, so don't go thinking you can get around that. And going for a risky bounce land there. Luckily not the type of players that would wasteland that, but we don't have wasteland anyway, so I don't suppose it matters. If we go for Azusa, we can ramp up by... No, I think I want to get the card draw. Phyrexian Arena is what we'll go for here, methinks. And then we'll pass over and we'll go over to the Gitrog monster, a 6/6 with Death Touch, Frog Horror for 5 mana. At the beginning of your upkeep, you sacrifice the Gitrog, unless you sacrifice a land. And then you can pay an additional land on each of your turns. And whenever one or more land cards are put into the graveyard from anywhere, you can draw a card. So there's some downside there in having to sacrifice lands, but once you get into things like Ramunap, Crucible of Worlds, Azusa, you can most likely play out more lands than you sacrifice. It's good that the Gitrog actually lets you play an additional land as well, so you could effectively go up a land every turn if you draw into the lands, and that's the risk with him. Okay, Jace's Archivist makes me want to get down Azusa sooner rather than later. Oh, Primeval Titan would be a real shame to get rid of. I think we just go for our Azusa here. And that's pretty much all we can do. We could have gone for Damnation, but I didn't want to use that on a Jace's Archivist. It's not too terrible if we have to draw a new hand. Would be nice to keep hold of the Bane of Progress to get rid of these pieces of mana. That would knock them down to 3 as it currently stands. But I'm not sure that's conducive to an interesting game. Surprised to see Jace's Archivist in a Phenax deck, actually. They're not always necessarily mill decks. Sometimes there's some kind of mill strategy going on, self-mill strategy, where they can put cards from their library into their graveyard and then reanimate things. So might be that, which would make sense with the Jace's Archivist. So we might be seeing some kind of Dimir Reanimator build here. And I don't think our opponent's going to do anything else. They just got down the Halimar Depths and restacked the top 3. So nope, they are going for something. Okay, they're going to Windfall, which means that we will draw into 4 cards. And we get into our Underrealm Lich, which is really nice. New card from Guilds of Ravnica. Really like this one. And not a whole lot else, actually. What have we got? 2, 4, 5 mana. Oh, and they're going to traumatise us as well. Are they traumatising us? Yes. They're aiming at us, so there is a mill strategy. What do we get into here? Do we have any dredge cards? World Eater is in there, we can get that back. Do we have Life from the Loam? Don't think we do. Just having a quick scan through. The game will soon tell me if we do anyway. And we'll grab a Bayou. If it didn't just get milled out, it did. I can see it in the graveyard, so I should have done that in response. Don't have any basic forest left. Wow. What are the odds of that? Okay, milling out half of your deck and then drawing into Life from the Loam after a shuffle. Okay, let's see if we can grab anything that we like from that then. Cavern of Souls might be nice if there's counter magic. If our opponent gets too aggressive with mill, we can wasteland them on their Dimir Aqueduct. The Duca Bog is worthwhile as well. And we can play all these out thanks to Azusa as well. So let's see about Temple of the False God, a Bayou, and a Cavern. And then we do, of course, have to pay for it, obviously. And then that's 2 additional lands, which would be 1, 2, and then land drop for the turn. And we'll name Frog. Oop, not G. F-O-R. F-O-R. Forg. I can spell, I swear. Right, now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That will leave 2 up. Yeah, I think... Oh, do we just wipe the board now? No, I mean, there's nothing to stop us going for. I doubt they'll have anything as bad as Traumatize again. So I think we can take a turn off. Or we could go for Mana Reflection. Decisions. 2, 4, 5, 6, and then that would just be 2 mana as well. No, I think we'll go for the Gitrog. And then we'll just peck them for 1 with the Azusa. And I think we've set ourselves up pretty well for the next turn. We are down to 39 cards in the library, 3 of which we'll draw next turn, thanks to Phyrexian Arena, our draw step, and the Gitrog. So we're getting to the point now where if we are worrying about mass library disruption and flipping our library upside down, we'll get to the point where we can go for things like Wasteland on the Dimir Aqueduct and where is it, Worldbreaker onto Sol Ring, things like that. Sphinx's Tutelage, an enchantment. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent mills 2. Yeah, okay. That is really good with Jace's Archivist. So I think we want to get rid of Jace's Archivist with the Decree, assuming that we keep hold of it for any length of time, which we may not. And then this thing is exile a creature card from a graveyard. And it becomes a copy of that card. Yeah, so would have been really nice to Decree of Pain, actually. And then we mill 10 from that. We'll get back Life from the Loam, which does actually mill us some more. Well, this is a pretty effective mill strategy thus far. And we're going to go down to just over 20, I think. We do get a card draw from the mill there. And we get another card draw from... I think we've drawn 3 cards off of these mills so far. Pernicious Deed will do some good stuff for us. Yeah, that'll be really good. If we can do that for 3, that'll be excellent. And Harrow will not do anything for us, so we will pass over to our turn, and we'll just get rid of a forest here. And then we draw into some stuff. Okay, Green Warden. Right, well, let me make sure that Pernicious Deed is going to do it. We play it out for 3, and then X and sack, destroy each artifact, creature, and enchantment with CMC X or less. We would obviously do that for 3. So why don't we go for... We also have Thespian Stage, so do we have the Dark Depths in our graveyard? I assume we do. Wow, we're down to 15 cards in our library. This is pretty good going by our opponent. Surely we have Dark Depths in here somewhere. No, I don't think we do. I think it's still in our library. Wow, that's pretty good milling by our opponent. Alright, oh, and we also have Worm Harvest. That'll get us a boatload of stuff. Okay, why don't we first head out for a Life from the Loam and get out a hell of a lot of stuff here. We can go for Cabal Coffers Urborg, and then Wasteland as well. Seeing as how we're so close to death, I don't actually mind wastelanding that bounce land now. And then we go 1, 2, and 3. And we'll wasteland that bounce. And we do, of course, draw a card. Or we could, yeah, we'll just Life from the Loam, actually. Pretty risky stuff, this Loam now. And then we'll go for Cabal Coffers, which will net us 9 mana. And that is Pernicious Deed. And we need to tap down for green on that. And then we kill Pernicious Deed with 3 mana. That will keep Gitrog around, but it will get rid of all our opponent's stuff. They could still have a wheel in hand, which will probably... No, it'd leave us with some cards in our library, I think. Do we want to get anything back with the Green Warden? I mean, what do we have? We don't have a land fall this turn, I don't think. We don't have an ability to play any lands. Why don't we just try and go for Worldbreaker, maybe? No, we'll go for Worm Harvest. That will get us a lot of stuff, and we can go wide if we need to. And we'll discard the Ancient Tomb. And how many worms is this going to get us? Whoa. What's that, 21? Yeah, 10, 10 and 1 is 21. And yeah, I think we can just swing in with Gitrog and hope that we get the game next turn, but this is the fastest mill I've ever seen in 1v1 Commander, so it's well worth showing everybody what's possible. Yeah, we can just get rid of some lands here. Oh, this is the problem. So you draw into... I think we'll actually have to keep some things in hand. Some lands in our hand, because when we discard land cards we have to draw. So in that case, I want to keep Cross and Grip. What are we down to? 8. Get rid of the Tireless Tracker. And then we have to draw a card. When we get into Obnixilis, we'll just Corsair. There we go. We have to be careful about putting lands into our graveyard now. We only have 9 things left in the deck. And they could go for a wheel of some kind and try and mill us out with that. Okay, Teferi's Telepath. We reveal the top 7 cards of our library. They cast an instant or sorcery from among them. And then we put the rest in our graveyard. How many do they reveal? The top 7. Oh, they've got us, I think. Yeah, because we were at 9. Oh, no, yeah, 7 is in art, right, okay, so they don't necessarily have us. I was looking at my hand, I saw 7, and then I remembered that it's 9 that they have. And... but yeah, they're going to force us to draw. They're going to force us to draw with Gitrog. Awesome. Yeah, so good game to our opponent. We got milled out fair and square. That is a very impressive win. What is it, turn 6, getting milled out? I think there were some misplays there by me. I kept getting back life from the loan when I perhaps shouldn't have done. But I can't say... I don't know if I've ever been milled out in 1v1 Commander, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think so. So that is really good. We dealt with a lot of our opponent's mana there, and they still managed to get out the win. And the fact that Gitrog forces you to draw is one of the downsides. It doesn't often come up, but I do tend to point it out. There is a difference between may draw and you have to draw. So that was proven tenfold there. Really good game to our opponent, and hope you enjoyed the mill action from Phenax. God of Deception, is it called? I can't remember. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that game. I'm Tribalkai on the EDH channel, and we've just been milled out well and truly. I'll see you in the next one.